With Once and Always, one of the fun things about that is exploring old characters where they left them off many years ago. We always want to know and find out what our favorite characters from the past seasons are going through. A lot of them haven't returned. There's been many fan favorites that have returned either in a team up at least once, but there are several characters that I thought like really had cool ideas to them that were not either explored correctly, or there was a story that was going to happen that I always really wanted to know.
Blue Centurion.
Now, I know the Blue Centurion is not a really popular character, especially with the Phantom Ranger coming in of Turbo and basically taking the spotlight as, he should have been the Sixth Ranger. I always found him enjoyable. Yeah, he's a joke character, even in the Sentai footage, he's much more funny, but I was always curious about his planet. I always wanted to know who his people were, what he's been up to, because he just kind of ceremoniously just left, and that was all that really happened to him. So I would like to find out what's been going on, expand on the character, so he's not just the goofy guy that wears those horrific shirts in that dumb Turbo episode.
Troy.
Now, Troy obviously is going to be like, wait, why the hell do you want Troy? The entire cast from Megaforce are abysmal. He had this special ability to see the future, and it basically gets wasted and nothing really goes on with that. Just because a character's bad, that's the fault of the writers, not really the fault of the character or the actor. So I always wanted Troy to come back for another season or a guest appearance, something to use his special ability, explain it in much more detail, and, get to know him better. That's one of the most damaging things. Do we really know the characters all that well? Frankly, no. So I think out of everyone from Megaforce to return, I would like Troy to get a second chance. Katie, if you had to give Time Force a negative, this would be it. Katie was the most underutilized character out of everyone. Granted, Power Rangers in general always has characters they end up, forgetting about because it's an ensemble cast, there's so many characters, it's still not an excuse. And on top of which, because Katie was drastically changed from Domo in Time Ranger, none of his elements could be used, so Katie ended up really being just that. She had some early episodes which I was fond of, but other than that, and the whole super strength aspect was basically non-existent. I never understood why they did it, bar a few moments here and there. It became very unimportant, and I would like to find out what happened to her in the future, because she was the one that was most homesick. She's the one who was worried about changing history, basically, which is kind of an annoying thing about Time Force. The main characters were, hell-bent on capturing Ransing, but no one really cares too much about the whole changing of history until basically the end of the show. So if I had a chance to bring back more people from Time Force, Katie would definitely be high on the list. Justin is kind of a no-brainer, mainly because, again, out of everyone from PR, he would be the most different. It was a different dynamic at the time when Turbo was on. So now Justin, if he returned, he would be an adult. He's kind of a blank slate because pretty much, Justin was just a smart kid, overly smart, which they were misusing him, which is one of the core reasons why people hated him. After, when he appeared in Space, he started becoming a more of an interesting character, and I would like to see what he's been up to. Has he been in contact with any other Power Rangers since then?
Maya.
Now, Maya, I always found her unique because I always kind of hated that they, glossed over the fact that A, she can talk to animals, and B, she came from Miranoi. So I think out of all the people from LG to come back, I'd love to find out what's been going on with Miranoi. We know the world had turned back to normal at the end of the show. We didn't really know anything about her people, so I would like to find out more about that. Kind of give us a backstory on the Quasar Sabers. After the Zordon era, a lot of things and items randomly have been able to access the morphing grid and give you the ability to become a Power Ranger. So the Quasar Sabers were the very first items to do that, and I was always curious, who made them? Who built them? What was their purpose? Were they always linked to the morphing grid, or did the morphing grid link to them because they had a special ability that was worthy of gaining this power?
Ninjor.
Another character that was severely underused was Ninjor. Again, kind of like the Blue Centurion, he was kind of the joke character, and he was really only in here because of, well, he was in the Sentai footage, we kind of have to use him. But I always thought his ability to create power coins was never, like, brought in the show as much as it should have been. And I always thought, well, okay, they lost their coins in season 2 and 3. It would have been really cool to find out, later on, Ninjor helped Billy create the new power coins, restored the season 2 power coins in whatever way possible. Get to know him more. Does Ninjor come from the planet Zornia? Well, we don't really know anything about Zornia. They made the Shogun Zords, the Cosmic Fury Zords. Is he one of the people in there? Does he have a humanoid shape, or is his suit just, that blue outfit? And I would really like him to be more known than rather a poor Dudley Do-Right voice.
Taizan.
Now, out of everyone on Overdrive, Taizan was my favorite. And because he was the one that had the most, comprehensive story. While everyone had their thing, they didn't really do anything with it. So he was the one who had a purpose. I would like to know what happened to his fiancée. Did they get married? Did they have children? Know about his planet? Because I think it would add on to the stories in general, especially, after Cosmic Fury, where we're hopping around the universe, getting to know more places. Those type of characters fit in a lot more.
Cam.
Now, of course, Cam, everyone knows he's my favorite character from Ninja Store. It was also a sin for Cam to not come back for Samurai. Out of all the characters that you could have used to explain where did the Samurai Ranger powers come from, you couldn't bring him back to be at least a mentor in the story instead of just copying Shinkenger in a really bad way. Not to mention he's the son of Sensei, and I would love to know what's been going on with the Wind and Thunder Ninja Academies. So I really would love to see him back, Cybercam back, and what's been going on throughout these past 20 years with the Ninja Storm team.
Eric.
I think if you had to pick a character from Time Force as your favorite, I think a lot of people would definitely pick Eric. He started out as a anti-hero / villain of the season. There was a long, complicated journey of Eric to what we saw at the beginning to what he became at the end, especially when he willingly gave up his quantum powers for West, just because I had this really crummy life. He understood that, look, this world needs to be saved. I'm not the center of it. Here's my powers. So it was a really great journey that he went through. And I think, a lot of people want to know, what happened to his bird. The little girl, for example. There's a lot of little story elements that they had in Time Force that people really liked about the character. And we would like to know about the Silver Guardians. Has he gone to the year 3000? Do they know their fate of what happened? Or are they more cautious since of what all the events of Time Force? I think he would be a very interesting character to see.
Merrick.
But not the most interesting that I would love to know about. Merrick has had a very complicated story, and probably the best character that Wild Force had. Not to forget about Zenaku as well. They're both linked to that story, which is why I think they would be the most interesting to bring back. I always wanted to know that dynamic. What's been going on with them over these 20 years? Does Zenaku understand humanity better? Has he become a good character? Merrick also doesn't have a home. He was from the past. His family, friends, and people have died long ago. And also because of the whole Zenaku stuff, I thought it would have been a really cool way to incorporate that into suit upgrades. We always have characters that love giving upgrades to the Power Rangers. You know how the Sentinel Knight gives the Battleizer to Mech. It would have been interesting if Merrick could get a suit upgrade, but also, why not do it the other way? It would be kind of interesting if we ever saw Zenaku morph with the Luna Wolf powers. I think that would be interesting to explore and see, and bringing some closure to Wild Force and even redeeming it at the same time. I would love everyone who was possible to come back every now and again, either in a team-up special, a movie, or, bring them back because it makes sense in the plot. Power Rangers is a continuous universe where, we're following new people that go, in different parts of the world, have different villains, but still, we always have in the back of their head, what's going on with Tanya? What's happened to her? What's happened to Andros in KO 35? We just saved the world from utter destruction. I think that's one of the reasons why the comic books have survived for so long and done fairly well, is because you can pull from so many things to come up with a story or to redeem a season that was really badly done because of whatever issue and give them a second chance. But these are my favorites that I would love to pick. What are yours? Leave a comment down below on who you think would love to come back for either story reasons or personal reasons. And if you have a suggestion or topic on a future top 10 you would like me to cover, leave a comment as well for that.